Well, hello out there. Who am I talking to? Well, let's see. This is The Voice of Friendship Village coming at you again today with a very special guest that you'll meet in just a few minutes. And so we just say thank you to all who are listening and or who will be listening in the near future. Remember that all of our podcasts are also stored on the CareMerge program. That's right. So you can catch all of the podcasts. Even go back a year or so if you want to and see who we had about that time. But so we want to announce too that our sponsor for today's podcast is
the Cold Creek Cafe.
The Golden Creek Cafe.
Cold Creek.
Cold Creek Cafe. I'm being prompted by my able assistant, Mary Craven. Thank you, Mary. The Cold Creek Cafe, a place that we certainly love and have frequented quite often. And it's a place to go and get some great food, have some great company, listen to some good music from Susie's Gizmo. What do you call that? What do you call that gizmo? Alexa, mm-hmm. Yes. She can call up any tune and by any artist she wants to. So, but we're used to having her great soup and sandwich meals most every day, and plus her other specialties. So, if you haven't yet, and I can't imagine someone who hasn't yet seen the Cold Creek Cafe, please go and pay a visit and tell them Phil sent you, and maybe Susie would cut you a deal with a cookie. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, and well, listen, before I get any further along here, I just want to share my latest knock-knock joke. Okay, are you ready out there? Here we go. Knock, knock. Who's there? Jamaican. Jamaican who? Jamaican me hungry. With all the talk about restaurant and good foods to eat, Jamaican me hungry. Okay. Now another version of that would say Jamaican me crazy, but we're not going to do that one. Okay, so much for a lighter moment. Let's get on with this important podcast. And Mary, take it away.
All right, I got a couple little sayings here I'll give you first.
Oh, all right.
Wear a smile and have friends. Wear a frown and have wrinkles. I think we've all frowned too much.
Yeah.
And some kids are spoiled because no one will spank grandma.
I've heard that one before.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, like Phil said, we have a special guest. He may have already given it away, but I'm going to introduce her as Susan Bowers. Think about that. Susan Bowers.
Okay.
Otherwise known as Susie.
Susie, okay.
Our great cafe cook. And friendly smile. Yes. So we will find out more about Susie as we travel along our trail of the podcast.
Okay.
So, welcome, Susie.
Thank you.
And where were you born?
In Jessup, Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won't say how many.
I'm still there.
You're still there.
I didn't go very far.
Yeah. We won't say how many years ago. We'll just say you were born there.
Okay.
And how big a family did you come from?
There was 3 of us. I have a sister who's 15 years older, and my brother's 10 years older, and then I came along.
Okay, you were the third. Okay.
Oh, you got a lot of attention then.
Yep, I had 2 moms, pretty much.
Yeah. Did you live in town or were you on a farm?
In town.
Uh-huh.
My dad was the butcher in town. We had a meat locker.
Yeah.
And that was our family
That's what
business.
my husband's expertise was, a butcher.
Yeah.
And he got his training in a meat locker.
Wow.
So we knew about meat. And still do. I criticize sometimes. No, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, and you went to school in Jessup?
Yeah.
Graduated from there?
Yep, it's K through 12.
Okay. And then where'd you go after you graduated? Did you stay there and work, or did you venture?
I worked at the locker for many years, and then we got into catering, and I thought I better learn how to cook.
Oh.
So I didn't know what to do about that problem, so I went to the library and I found 3 solutions, and one of them was the CIA. One of them was the cordon bleu, and they don't really like Americans, so.
Oh, well, the French thing?
The French thing, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I thought, well, I don't think I'd fit in there. I'm from Iowa and couldn't be more, American.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Another one was just a university degree, and I didn't want to put in 4 years.
Right.
So the only thing left at that time was the CIA out in Hyde Park, New York, the original one.
CIA, what's that?
That's the Culinary Institute of America.
Oh.
It's in Hyde Park, New York. It was started right after World War II, I think by Mrs. Roosevelt.
Okay.
To help get the GIs back on their feet who didn't have any training. So anyway, that's where the school came from.
Mm-hmm.
But it's where the Master Chef program is, and it's world renowned now.
Yeah.
Now they have CIAs everywhere.
Okay.
But anyway, I had to apply to get in, and I had really no restaurant background, but I had a butcher for a dad, and I was in the meat business.
Yeah.
And it turns out the president of the school was from Germany, and his dad was the Metzger there, so that probably got me in.
Mm-hmm.
I had a letter of recommendation from the Iowa Locker Association and from my home ec teacher.
Okay.
And that was good enough to get me in the doors.
Okay.
So I drove out there in my little Datsun, 4-speed,
Yeah.
just a dinky little car, and I drove out there, and I pulled up, and it was so beautiful. It sits right on the Hudson, overlooking the Hudson. It was an old Jesuit seminary.
Okay.
And so it's high up on the hill, looking down on the Hudson. It's all brick, covered in ivy, and I'm going, what am I doing here? It was a shocker because I had no idea. But it's that time it's a 2-year course. Now they offer, 4-year degrees, master's degrees,
Yeah.
specialties in baking, all sorts of different degrees. It's expanded.
I have a grandson who just took a chef course out there. I'll have to ask him what school he went to.
Mm-hmm.
And he is now cooking. He's worked in several places out there with his cooking expertise.
Yeah, a lot of them set you up with jobs and whatnot too. So.
Yeah. It's not too hard to get a job after you've had a training like that.
No, everybody has to eat. So
Yeah.
It's kind of a safe field to go into.
That's what we said about being in the grocery store. Everybody has to eat, so they're going to buy groceries.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you came back here after you were through with your schooling? Or did you?
Well, no, I was asked to stay on and do a fellowship there. So
Great.
I did a fellowship in the...
So they must have seen some extra talent in you.
I think it was the butchering.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Because I was in the Escoffier room. That's Augustus Escoffier. He's the reason we study French cooking. He's the first one to write it down. He wrote a cookbook.
Okay.
So that's why we study French cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Because of him.
Okay.
He had a big mustache. And I wrote the book called Le Guy, which is what we just called the Bible. Because that's how we learned. We studied Escoffier first, and then you could branch off and go into, French Asian, or you can cross countries and everything, but always using his recipes or formulas as your guidebook.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. But it was fun to study.
Yeah, I bet.
And to be surrounded by people that love food.
Mm-hmm.
And
you all had something in common.
we did.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody had things that they were better at than the next guy, but you could learn from each other.
Absolutely.
So that was
It wasn't quite as scary as it was when you first drove up.
no. It got better.
Yeah.
I remember I didn't know anything about spirits. We had to learn about spirits and liqueurs and whatnot. I had no clue what these were.
Yeah.
Just ignorant. And they kind of made fun of me. The girls did from out east, and I thought, I'll see you in the butcher class, girls.
Yeah, there you are.
But it all worked out.
Well, how long of a program was it?
It was 22 months, or I just say 2 years.
2 years.
And a part of that, you do an externship where you have to go out and work with a restaurant or institution that does 80% of their food from scratch. So I ended up in California because I had a place to live with my cousin, and I worked at the Sheraton Premier. I don't think it's even there now. It's in Universal Studios.
Okay.
Universal's right across from Universal Studios. But I worked in all the departments there. It's called it's kind of like a roundabout, a person, or tourneau. I can't say it now, but tournant. And anyway, it's a person who studies on each of the departments. Like they had a restaurant called Oscars. That was their 5-star. Like Joan Rivers ate there, and Johnny Cash. And this is a long time ago.
Oh yeah, but we know the names.
Yeah. So I went there, and they put me on one station, vegetables. I remember, and but I could learn from the guy next to me. Down over here was the broiler guy. Across from me was the salad cook, and so you just watch and keep your eyes open.
Okay.
And then I worked in the banquet kitchen, big volume cooking, kind of like a little bit like here. A lot of that I used when I came here too.
Yeah.
But they were like the parties were 4,000.
Oh, wow.
Of course, it's California.
Yeah, but you were in the famous district out there.
Yeah, so there's lots of movie stars running around in the kitchen too. They're always in your way.
Well, I'll drop a few names here, like who are we talking about that dropped into your kitchen?
Oh, man, I haven't thought of them.
Oh.
Ned Beatty.
Oh yeah.
Ned Beatty, yeah.
Yeah, I had to serve shrimp for some party. All hands on deck, and so I was out there serving shrimp, and I turned around and there he was, and I didn't know what to do, so I just smiled real big, and he smiled real big back, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go now. But
well, and you mentioned Joan Rivers and
yeah, I want to say Vidal Sassoon. He's not a movie star, but they were.
Oh, the hair guy.
The hair guy. He was running around too. They'd come into the banquet kitchen looking. They were doing food cooking demos of celebrities cooking or something. Oh. And they needed something, so they ran in and were looking through our drawers for utensils.
Oh, guys. Huh.
So how long did you work there?
That was just like a half a year. Anyway, but that was my externship, and then you go back and you finish up at the school, and then I did the fellowship, and that was another half a year. And then I moved to California, where I got married. And I married a chef, and we had 2 children, and we stayed out there 7 years. And then we came back to Ames, Iowa, and he worked at Aunt Maud's down there. And then I got a divorce 3 years after that, and I moved back to Jessup, Iowa.
Okay.
To raise my children, which were now 1st grade and 3rd grade.
Okay.
So, and within a week, I had moved in my house, and the next day I got a call from Mike Francis. Would you like a job? Or I can't remember how it went, but it was so fast. Like I was hired just like that because they were short help. Okay. And I had 2 days training, and then I was on my own. And that was 25 and a half years ago. God. And I've been here since.
That long?
Oh, the call was from somebody from here.
It was way before your time.
Way before, yeah, okay.
It was the chef then. He hired me.
Oh,
and Diane was here.
Diane was here?
Yeah. Diane Deerfield?
Yep.
Okay. One of the many ones we know.
Yeah.
But not too many. Not too many are still here.
A lot of new faces.
Yeah.
And that'll continue on.
Yeah.
But I came here for the health insurance, like I said.
Yeah. Okay.
And besides that, you're home every night. And my kids were involved in everything I could put them in. So then I could run them around and go to their games and go to their practices.
Right.
Sure.
All those things. Okay. So I could.
So how'd the kids take to Iowa living after California and all the...
Well, they had cousins here, so it was all quite natural.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it all worked
They weren't
out
that
good.
old when you came back anyway.
No,
No.
no. And they both went, I have a son and a daughter, and they both went to Iowa State,
Okay.
and they both graduated, and they're both gainfully employed.
All right.
Where do they live now?
My daughter lives in Minneapolis, and my son lives in Des Moines.
Okay. Mm-hmm. They get home very often?
Not enough for me, but
Right. And how many grandchildren?
no grandchildren. Neither one of them are married.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Well-
I'm still waiting.
Okay.
Yeah, they're kind of lazy, I think.
Well, they're involved in their careers, probably.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe we'll send them a copy of this podcast.
Okay, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that'll-
Couple kicks.
Like to be a grandma, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. So then you've been here 25 and a half years. And you've
Wow.
given your expertise to many, many people. And you probably trained quite a few, too.
I try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you came,
I've learned a lot here, too.
Yeah.
this building we're in, which is,
It's been here quite a while.
it's been here 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
And Park Lane, how about that? Was that erected by then? I mean, was that up and going?
Yeah,
Park
that's phase one, so that was here first.
Yeah.
Park Lane was here
Yes.
first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I go back so far, we called it phase one, and then there's phase two.
Right.
This is
Okay.
phase five.
I've heard that.
I've
used.
seen photographs where they mapped that out, phase 1, 2, and 3.
Well, people really take advantage of your cooking because they come in there and eat. You have a lot of people eating. You have a lot of people carrying food out. It's a busy little place. And we sure appreciate having you behind the counter there working.
Yes.
And then when you're not there, sometimes it takes 2 other people to fill your shoes. So,
Yes. Yeah, it does.
but that's okay. And I know you don't always go by the recipes. Some of it's Susie's concoction.
I don't really have recipes.
No.
Oh,
I should, but I mean, I was taught recipes are a guideline.
Yeah. But it's what you put into it.
Yeah, it depends on what you have also.
Yes.
oh, okay.
Well, your soups are so good. And people just love all of your soups that you have.
So whatever is available, maybe a big batch of carrots, that's going to go into
I did do that one time. That's all I could find was carrots, and I did a carrot soup.
carrot soup. Okay.
That's where it became popular, maybe.
Yeah.
And the baked goods are so good. I'm prone to buy a few of those from time to time.
Oh, I just got my hands on a new cookie recipe.
Uh-oh.
I love the cookies, and so this lady graciously gave me her recipe, but it includes pudding. A little box of pudding.
So moist.
So, yeah. I'll try it out. Give you a sample.
Okay. You're a great baker.
Well,
He is. He likes to bake.
yeah.
And I've been recipient of some of his goods, too.
I think that's really neat.
Yeah.
Jim Johnson likes to bake.
Yes,
too.
he does. Yes, he
Yeah.
does. Especially at Christmas time when he makes his peanut brittle. That's not baking, that's just cooking. Creating.
That's a science.
Mm-hmm. Did you always cook alone, or did you have help in there?
I've always been alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest part. There's nobody to bounce things off. You know?
Yeah.
That's what's fun about cooking in a kitchen is you talk to the guy next to you, and his left hand is your right hand, and
Yeah.
or something like that. You know,
Right, right.
It's when you work together a long time, you know what you need, and they know what you need,
Yep.
or get this to the.
And when
dish
you're
room.
not in the cafe and you're not, and we know you're there, we thought, oh, she must be in the kitchen today because she's not in the cafe.
Oh,
But
not so much anymore.
no, they've got, it seems, adequate help now. So we're happy for that.
So when you were first hired here, Susie, did you work in this building?
Yes, I've
Were you-
always been in this building.
Always been in this
Yeah,
building? Okay.
for the most part. I've actually worked in the lodge. I've worked at the Lane.
Okay.
I've worked out at the Landmark Commons.
Oh,
I've just like when they were short help, they would put me here and there.
okay.
So
What is your favorite thing to cook? or bake. Either way.
I love soups.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to make breakfast.
Yeah, those are very popular too.
I really like all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ever think about moving in here to Friendship Village?
Not yet.
Yeah. You're too young yet.
But you've thought about it. You've thought about maybe that's your future? Someday?
It could be.
Could be, okay.
What I really can't imagine is not working. And I wonder what it feels like to not work.
Oh, okay.
So that would be my first trauma.
Yeah.
How do you stop working?
Mm.
Well, some people don't mind it, and other people have quite a time adjusting. But it's all in you, and it's what you did. If you liked what you did, and you hate to leave it, it's hard to walk away. But if it was something that wasn't quite what you liked, and you were ready to walk away from it, then you did. So you have mixed feelings about all of that.
I think so, because I love to cook.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my hobby.
Right.
So I got to find another hobby. I'm trying to figure out gardening, and oh boy, is that bad. I have not a green thumb, I guess.
Oh.
But I'll keep trying.
Okay. They have garden plots here that they give out.
They still have them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're high-rise gardens.
Right.
They're not on the ground. They're up.
Yeah. So you don't have to bend over and get down on the ground level.
And then fall down.
Yeah.
Easier to mow around, too, I think.
Probably so.
It's kind of fun in the summertime, too, when we have some of the people or their families bring in some of the fresh produce, like sweet corn and tomatoes and different things like that. That's always something we look forward to. Apples and all kinds of...
That's the bounty of Iowa.
Right. Yeah. That's what we live for, is our harvesting of foods. Yeah, that's what we
said,
all...
what do you do in Iowa? And I said, we grow things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So there weren't probably too many people at your fancy gourmet cooking school who even knew where Iowa was or knew much about it.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah.
They'd always call it Ohio or...
Or Idaho.
Idaho, yeah.
Idaho, yeah.
It's somewhere far away.
Mm-hmm.
Clear across the ocean, but we weren't clear across the ocean.
Yeah.
Just halfway through the country.
Yeah.
I had a chef Hessner. He was from, I don't know, Germany. And I had an Iowa jacket on. He said, oh, you're from a long ways away. And I looked at him and I said, not as far as you.
Yeah. You're across the ocean.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes, I'm sure you met a lot of people from different countries that were there to go to school.
At that time, there were many European chefs, and they were fun to learn under because they make sure you don't forget.
Yeah, probably.
Well, anything new and exciting coming up at the restaurant?
Once the kitchen's done,
yeah,
it'll be so much easier. Right now it's a little difficult because the water's not there. There's not much to cook with, so it has to come from the terrace, and getting dishes done.
Okay. Yeah.
They have to go all the way over there, and I can't really walk back and forth like that. So I have to find people to do that for me.
Right.
And that feels bad to make impose
well,
on other
some of the
people.
young people could do it.
Yeah, they do it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're so sweet about it.
Yeah.
But I still feel bad.
Yeah. Well, we all need help.
Yeah.
If we can't do it, we'll find somebody that can do it. I think
Still got to get done.
There's no harm in asking.
Yeah.
It'll be nice too when nice weather comes and people get their food and they go out there on the little patio and eat too.
Yeah.
They like to go out there and sit.
Yeah.
Or they'll go out there and have coffee.
Especially, a lot of the times it's too dang hot out there. But they'll go out, after like 2 or 3, and that's a good time.
Well, we're looking forward to some of that hotter weather.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We've had enough of this.
It's supposed to get nice this week. We'll hope for
50
that.
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
50?
I think
wow.
so.
That's good. Melt some snow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when this podcast airs, we will be in spring by then.
Yeah, yeah, that's several weeks off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're about ready to wrap things up.
Okay.
And any parting words from you, Susie? Anything you'd like us to know, or?
People ask you or me why you've stayed here so long, and it's because of the residents.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like family.
It is.
Yeah.
You can't walk out on your family.
No.
Yeah,
Well, that's what we said too. We're a great big family here, and we can depend on each other to help us out if we need help. And it's just a great thing.
Yeah.
So we know why it was set up this way.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good to know there's a restaurant in our family, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You still don't get a discount.
Oh.
You might get a free cookie from now and then, or a broken cookie.
A half a cookie.
Yeah.
I've had one of those.
I have too.
Okay.
Or she wants you to sample something too once in a while.
I do make him do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
That's
today
kind of-
wasn't.
I did that this morning.
Yeah.
So, let's close with this thought. May the good Lord bless and keep you until we meet once again. Bye for now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.